Good evening. Welcome to the John Gaunt podcast. Yes, I'm back. Christmas is over. So my question tonight, and good evening to you, is this. What the hell is Keir Starmer up to now? He's putting us in danger again. I will explain all in the next 30 minutes or so on this podcast. As per usual, I want your comments. Write them up in the comment box and we'll read them as we go through the show. But let me assure you, this is going to be one humdinger of a show, which is why I'm doing it today. I could have waited to tomorrow. Although I must admit, I don't know what day of the week it is. I know it's Saturday, but it's like I'm really confused. Are you? Let's get talking. Plenty to talk about this evening. Let's start first of all with the headline. Clueless and dangerous, and a picture of Starmer behind me. I don't say it lightly, but I know now it's true. He is totally clueless, but he's also now very dangerous. I'm talking about our Supreme Leader, Keir Starmer, and the Labour Party. Because when a Prime Minister U-turns on the farmers' tax, just after Parliament shut down for Christmas, you got to ask, what game is he playing? Are you not suspicious? I am. And then he delivers a speech to the nation like a Dalek that said absolutely nothing. Oh, he did say, go to the pub and have a good time. That's, of course, if you can find a pub, because Keir Starmer has abandoned pubs and hospitality to total collapse. He's done a U-turn on the farmers. I think after Christmas, he'll be forced to do a U-turn on pubs and hospitality, but he put the farmers through 14 months of torture. People giving up their farms, people threatening suicide, some people saying their relatives died as a result of the stress. Let's have your views on that. Give me a comment. And then today, he's publicly celebrating the fact that he and Yvette Cooper, that useless Foreign Secretary, and Lammy's celebrating as well, they've allowed entry into the UK of a man called Alaa El-Fattah. And they haven't had to explain themselves. Oh, why? Because Parliament's not sitting. This is all designed to subvert the power of Parliament, just like the decision on the U-turn on farmers' inheritance tax. And it goes beyond incompetence. This is deliberate, but it's also dangerous judgment. You won't probably know who El-Fattah is, but I shall explain to you in the next half hour. He's a man who calls us British people pigs and monkeys. He's an anti-Semite by what he's written on Twitter. There's no two ways about it. You can read the tweets yourself. So he's a deeply controversial figure, and he's had past statements attributed to him circulating online now that you can see under his X account that many people would find disturbing. I certainly do, especially after the attack on that Jewish synagogue in Manchester just a few weeks ago, and of course, what happened in Sydney. What the hell is Starmer doing letting this man back into our country? And evidently, he can now freely travel between Cairo and Britain. He was held by the Egyptian authorities for a long time, it's got to be said. He would argue he's a human rights person, and he was being held illegally. That's what he would argue. But I'm going to read out some of the tweets that have been put out in his name. So what I say, even if you view him as a political prisoner or not, was this a decision that demanded transparency? I would say yes. But no, what Labour have done, Yvette Cooper, Lammy, and of course our Prime Minister, they've celebrated it. They think it's marvellous without expecting to have to explain to you, the British taxpayers. He is a British citizen, which is what they'll tell you. He was granted that in 2021. But should this man be allowed into the country. I think it's dangerous for public trust. I think it's dangerous for social cohesion when we're letting all the flip-flop warriors in at Dover as well. And I think it's extremely dangerous when this decision appears to have been made at the very top by Keir Starmer. It's Keir Starmer's decision. So it's not about faceless officials or abstract systems where normally we would argue about these issues. This is firmly about Keir Starmer's decision, Keir Starmer's priorities, and I guess therefore Keir Starmer's judgment. So tonight I'm going to go through the pattern, not the spin, and ask the question that Westminster won't or can't at the moment. Like I said, he made the decision about the farmers after the Commons rose for Christmas. He's made this decision without any consultation with the Commons. So how did Keir Starmer become so clueless? And why is that now becoming dangerous? I'm going to tell you in this broadcast. If you know much about this man, you can make any comment you want now. Feel free in the comment box. But talk to me about Starmer's speech. What on earth was that about? Talk to me about hospitality and the pubs. He's abandoned British people, but he's allowing this guy, who is a British citizen since 2021, he's allowing him into this country who says that police should be killed, murdered. Robert Jenrick has got his knickers into a twist about this, and he's sent a letter now. Let's just read out a couple of lines. He's sent a letter to the Prime Minister. He says, did you know that Mr. El-Fattah has endorsed killing Zionists and urged more of it? He's also been widely reported, this is Jenrick's words, of having called for the killing of Israelis in terms so extreme that his nomination for a major European Human Rights Prize was withdrawn when that post came to light. He has since sought to explain himself. That only underlines the point that it's not ancient history, it's a live controversy about incitement and hatred. These are the words of Robert Jenrick. Now, I'll tell you why Jenrick in a minute is a bit of a hypocrite on this. But let me tell you what in June 2011, El-Fattah wrote. He wrote that police are not human, that they don't have rights, and I quote now, we should just kill them all. That's what he said in July 2011, and Starmer's just let him back into the country. In August 2011, I know it's a good few years ago, but he's been in prison since, he said, when there was disorder on the streets of London, riots, etc., he urged people to go and burn the city or Downing Street or to hunt police. What do you make of that? And I think it's also worth mentioning that Sir Keir, by letting this man in, he just doesn't hate Jews and coppers, he also hates white people. He is quoted as saying, and I quote this exactly as it is, proud to be racist against whites, and he regards the British, I quote, as dogs and monkeys. I think this man is a danger to us all. Why is Starmer backing him to come into this country? It is just madness, absolute madness, when we've got all the problems at the moment with the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas idiots and the protest they were protesting against again on Boxing Day, weren't they, in that shopping centre, when we've had the attack on the Jewish synagogue, and when we had all those people murdered in Sydney. It gets you to a point where you say, just whose side are you on, Keir? Whose side are you on? Is it our side? Is it the side of civilization? Or are you with the barbarians, the savages, who you've already let through the gate? Keir Starmer is clueless and dangerous. And I'm not using those words for shock value. I say there's a pattern that's now impossible to ignore. Whether it's the people coming in on the small boats, then staying at places like the Bell Hotel in their designer gear. Did you see that yesterday? They'd all been to the sales. Nobody else has, but they had. They're there. And then now, in that court case, he used the council taxpayers' money of Epping to fund the legal case, not against these migrants and hotel owners, but against the people of Epping. Whilst Parliament was closed for Christmas, Keir Starmer tried to quietly U-turn on the farmers' tax, which, let's face it, is welcome. We wanted that U-turn and we've now got it. But I smelt a rat straight away. I nearly did a podcast, but I'd had a beer, so I decided not to on the day. He's up to no good. He's about to land something else on us. And I think he will U-turn on the pubs. But then he had that speech. Did you see it? It was a speech to the nation to tell us to enjoy Christmas and to lecture us on what Christmas is all about. He wouldn't know what Christmas is about if he got mugged by Father Christmas. He basically tried to reassure the nation, but the speech was flat and empty. He's got the charisma of a dead dormouse, and that's unfair to dormice. It was terrible. It was the Dalek in charge. And he said, no doubt many of you will be going to the pub over the Christmas period. Which pub, Keir? One, if we can find one open still after you, that'd be a start. But number two, we can't afford to go to a pub, Sir Keir. We can't afford it because of the cost of living crisis that you've helped create. You can't hide behind all this debt was there when we came to power any longer. Pubs, the hospitality sector, the heart of communities across Britain are continuing to close with little meaningful help from this government. And then today, to cap it all, whilst the Parliament is closed, he's left me stunned, almost lost for words. I don't know about you. This will be a massive story. He's welcomed and celebrated. If you read the tweet, go to Keir Starmer's tweets now and have a look at what he actually said. He's celebrated the entry into the UK of Alaa Abdi El-Fattah, half Egyptian, half British, got his passport in 2021, I understand. The politest thing to call him is a highly controversial activist. Some regard him as a political prisoner in Egypt, and let's face it, that's pretty easy to become. I'm no fan of the Egyptian regime. However, you look at some of those tweets that have been put out in his name, where he called white British people pigs and monkeys, where he said the killing of police was justified, where he wanted to burn down Downing Street and other houses during the riots. Is this the kind of guy, one, we should have been given a passport to, and two, welcoming back into Britain? Let's compare and contrast, shall we? The rioters after Southport. Did we have a welcoming party for them? Lucy Connolly? I think not. So, widely circulated online violent rhetoric seems to be okay with Starmer as long as it's by this guy but not you. I say, whether you agree with his release or not, there should have been proper, grown-up, mature debate in the... Well, I know, I'm pushing it. In the House of Commons and in our press. I think he's shown terrible, poor judgment, bad instincts. And again, Starmer shows he's got the Midas touch in reverse. He has no awareness of how his actions land with the British public. And that's why this matters. Because leadership without judgment isn't just weak, it is clueless and it is dangerous. So I'm asking you a question. Is Keir Starmer still in control, or is his government drifting into serious trouble? I was hoping we could move on from this clot by now. We clearly can't. He's intending to wreck the United Kingdom. And we've got to stand and say, not in our name, Sir Keir Starmer. Do you agree or disagree? Let's start with a contribution. Jim Garfield has already just donated a £5 here on YouTube. Thank you, Jim. He's put, Starmer tweeted, Alaa's case has been a top priority for my government since we came to office. And then Jim has written, and that is an exact quote. I tell you, I nearly blew my brain out when I heard that. And then Jim goes on to say, I honestly thought it was a parody. I'm afraid it's not, Jim. And he says, a priority to get this man back to Britain. Thank you, Jim, for your £5. That's a superb donation. I really, really appreciate it. What do you think about this? What do you think about it? This is what your Prime Minister is doing in your name. What do you think about the farmers' U-turn? Is there something else coming down the track? Is he softening us up? And what do you think about the state of our pubs and the fact that he's not helped them? He's helping a man who called us pigs, allegedly, and monkeys. A man who said, yes, it's a good idea to kill the police. A man, this is unbelievable. And it's not just Starmer. All the Labour lackeys now are retweeting similar nonsense. What, and I've asked this question so many times, what about the human rights of British people? What about the rights of you and I? What about the rights of the women who are getting raped by the flip-flop warriors? Not all of them. Let's just put that in there. We know they're not all like it. But as I keep saying to you, does Starmer know who's in those dinghies wearing those flip-flops? No, he doesn't. He knows a lot about this guy, El-Fattah, who he's let into the country. And if he didn't know that these statements were there, why on earth didn't his civil servants or his advisors tell him? And finally, on this issue, don't think the Conservatives are getting away with this, because they were also, when they were in power, they wanted this man released as well. James cleverly is quoted saying that this guy should not have been in prison. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Right, that's my little rant. So we're talking about the speech, we're talking about the U-turn on the farmers, we're talking about the state of our pubs, and we're talking about this man, which is breaking news today, who has been released. It will be the big story of the next few days. You'll be talking about it on every other phone in. Why don't you get involved now on this story? Ronnie Hurst, he'll kick us off. He says, you couldn't make it up. Correct. Josh PD 2913 on YouTube. Quite right, Ronnie. I agree with you. I'll tell you what it means, Gaunty. It means we are totally fed. Fed what? Fed up? Fed nonsense? Fed bullshit? You're probably right, Lena Tail. The enemy is amongst you. There's Dale C. Mackay Godwin. He's one of our American viewers stroke listeners. Thank you for your comments, Dale, and a very Merry Christmas to you as well. So let's have your opinion. By the way, hope you had a good Christmas. I did. You know, when you're young and you hear your mum and dad, they say, oh, did you have a good Christmas? Oh, yeah, quiet one. I think I've got to that stage in life as well. It was quiet. It was nice. But I've been itching to get back behind my microphone. I nearly did one yesterday, but then I thought it was a bit premature. So talk to me tonight about these things. Can you believe that Starmer is doing this? And do you agree with me? Look, there it is. He's clueless and now dangerous. Just write the word clueless if you agree. or dangerous. It scares the hell out of me. Leanne Teal says, I'll tell you what it means, John. It means we are totally fucked. Yeah, thank you for the language. But I probably agree with you. Turning against America is crazy work. Thank God most Americans love our cousins across the pond, says Ducky Mallory. Well, yeah, we have kind of, haven't we? We've decided we'll side more with the Europeans than you, if you're American, Ducky. And I would much rather be with America. So I'm with you. Could you imagine this happening in America? No, you couldn't. You couldn't, could you? Why have we got people living amongst us who hate us? These quotes, maybe they're wrong. I don't know. They don't look wrong to me because they're part of his Twitter history. He calls us monkeys and pigs and animals. He thinks it's legitimate to attack and kill the police. Meanwhile, we've got idiots on the street. Yesterday, was it in Stratford or where the big shopping centre is in London, doing their campaigns again? We've got these hunger strikers. You know, the ones who've decided, I'm going on a sabbatical over Christmas. So I'm halting it over Christmas. I'll start again afterwards. That isn't a hunger strike. That's intermittent fasting done incorrectly. These people, and like Greta Thunberg, why did we let her back in the country? Because she clearly only came in to stir the shit. We're mad. We must be the laughing stock of the world, particularly the parts of the world that hate us. Does Starmer not care for Britain? What's your views? Victoria Linda, I turned off his speech. He thinks he's royalty. The man is a crap Christmas cracker joke. I do like that. That's a nice way of describing him, Victoria. Thank you very much indeed for your comments. I thought his speech was abysmal. I thought all of them were, all the political leaders. Who are they to lecture us? And when did that become a thing, that they do a speech? We're not interested. We just want to be with our family, have a few drinks, and watch something good on the telly, which, of course, was impossible this Christmas. Did you? The BBC were bragging this afternoon online that they beat ITV. Well, of course you beat ITV, because ITV managed to put an even worse lot of films and programs on than you. Did you beat Netflix? I wonder. Or Amazon? Or YouTube? No one's watching linear telly anymore, which is why the license fee is going to collapse. Do you agree with me? And what was that program with that guy from Coventry? Guz somebody. He's a Muslim. He's got a comedy sitcom. I've had hemorrhoids, which were funnier and certainly less painful than watching that. I've seen nothing on the telly that I thought, oh, that's all right. The Beyond Paradise, whatever it's called, that program where they're now in Loo in Cornwall, pretending to be in Devon, it wasn't bad, but it was hardly Del Boy standard, was it? It wasn't even Gavin and Stacey standard. I see Morecambe and Wise were on BBC Two. It's come to something when a program that's about 30 or 40 years old is better than anything they're creating now. Side issue, you might want to talk about it. Feel free. I thought Christmas on that level was absolutely rubbish. And then we had the King doing a speech. Well, I won't even go there. He's been poorly. That's all I can say in his defence. What a dreadful speech that was. Starmer never spoke about a migrant problem apart from promising to cancel Rwanda. That should have told you everything, says Ben-esque 1325 on YouTube. That's a nice one. Thank you very much indeed. And I think I agree with you. Dale says, I worry about you British people. Ronnie Hurst says, there's no pubs near me now. I think that's similar in lots of places in the country. It's just, I mean, I accept that maybe things have changed. People like drinking at home. But also it's because it's so incredibly cheaper, which is why you've got to drop the VAT and drop the duties on pubs and hospitality. Make it cheaper. Then more people will go out. More people go out, more jobs. More people going out, communicating with each other, talking to each other, better society. Can you not see that? That's just logic as far as I'm concerned. If you want a country to be cohesive, But then some people don't drink. Is that the agenda? I don't know. Let me know your views. Plenty to talk about. Starmer and King Charles are both WEF members. That says it all. Well, it actually doesn't say it all, Davo. I know you're angry about it. It doesn't actually say it all. It's much more complicated than that. Half of my pubs in villages have closed. You're right. Village pubs are dead, dying on their arse. They used to survive on the food, but now the cost of living is so high, people don't go out as much. Ronnie Hurst says, clueless and dangerous. I'm asking you, do you agree that he's clueless and dangerous? Just by writing that, that'd be good. Pam Millett. Pam, thank you for your comments over Christmas. She wrote a lovely thing about to me, so I won't go into it, but it was lovely. Thank you, Pam. She says, dangerous, not only for the British people, he's now also dangerous to himself, letting this creature back, especially now he's got his Islamist army spread all over the country. I don't think anyone's suggesting, Pam, to be fair, that this guy, Fattah, is actually a terrorist, but I don't think the things he comes out with necessarily helps the situation, if you know what I mean. If Tommy Robinson can get put in prison for some of the things he said or allegedly said, then why is this man free not only to walk the streets of Britain, but free to go back to Egypt whenever he wants? Maybe somebody can explain it to me. It's beyond me. People did during the riots after Southport. People said, Lucy Connolly said, burn the bloody hotel down. That's why she went to prison. I thought what she said was stupid and wrong. I've always said that. I don't think she deserved 31 months for it. That's a separate issue. But this fella said, go to Downing Street, burn it down, and burn down houses in London. The same kind of rhetoric, isn't it? And he's just got back in the country with his British passport. Stephen Hall, nothing surprises me anymore. Niven Casey, maybe Saint Gretard came over on a dinghy. You're being much too clever for me, Niven. Would you like to explain what that means? Oh, you mean Greta. Just call her Greta. Came over on a dinghy. No, she'd have come over in a £1 million yacht like she tried to go to Palestine in Niven. It's Trump derangement syndrome, says Stephen Hall. I agree, Stephen. Ton Wobble. Christmas telly was shite. King's speech was pointless, and Stomer's speech was Dalek-like. I think you've summed it up there quite well. Thank you very much indeed, Ton Wobble. If you want to comment, feel free. I'm not going to be here for ages tonight because, it's Saturday, isn't it? So get this one in. I am going to do one tomorrow afternoon about 2 o'clock as well. Try and tune in for that one. And please don't forget, the best way you can help me, and it's happened a lot over Christmas, is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called John Gaunt TV. Just put it into YouTube. It will come up. John is spelled Jon. It's on the bottom of the screen now. If you're listening on a podcast, go to your mobile or your computer when you finish listening to me, or open up another page now and subscribe. A little thing comes up saying, do you wish to subscribe? Say yes. Now, because it says subscribe, I think some people think that means money. It doesn't. It's free to subscribe to John Gaunt TV and always will be. However, if you want to donate to keep these going, because obviously we get a bit of advertising money, but I also rely very heavily on my fans' donations. So just donate now by clicking the $sign on the screen. Well, it's by the comments, I understand. Click on there and you can donate as little or as much as you wish. If you want to do it another way, you go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt and donate anything from £5 upwards. So if you can help out, please do. Obviously, it's going to be a quiet week this week because we're not on every day, and next week's New Year, etc. So if you can help me, please do. Lily Cat, Alderbury. Hello, Lily. I only watch the old stuff on TV. It's a lot more funny and it's not woke. Well said. I was watching YouTube the other night, and sometimes they just start suggesting stuff. I had a load of Dick Emery stuff come up. I'm sorry. The man was bloody funny. Funny. He had the sailor on. He had, oh, you are awful. What was the gay guy? I mean, it was funny because I don't think with Dick Emery, and I also think this with Dave Allen, they use stock characters, and that goes all the way back to the history of drama and comedy. And they pick on that. They're not picking on an individual. This is what this woke mob don't understand. It's just funny. The fat bloke with the young dolly bird. Am I allowed to say that anymore? No. That's funny. It's funny. You disagree? Fair enough. I'll hear from you. We'll have a chat about it. Thank you, Lily. So we're talking about the state of British telly over Christmas. We're talking about this man who thinks it's okay to say, kill the police. Oh, and did you see that? Bob Villan, or whatever his name was, he got off. He didn't get done. We have got two-tier Keir in charge. We've got two-tier justice. We've got two-tier policing. We've got to get rid of this man. We've got to get rid of him. He's so dangerous. He's so clueless. He doesn't know. How's he got to the point where he represents us? He'll be off on another foreign trip in a minute, won't he? Sorry, careful, John. If you want to donate, I'm just saying this while I calm down. Please do. Click the $sign now or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. The government have to backtrack on the rates on pubs. They do, Jackie. That's exactly. I mean, I love the way my mate Rick Cressman, we'll get him on after Christmas in the new year. He's helped organise that thing. You know where they've banned all Labour MPs from pubs? I think it's brilliant. I'd love to be a landlord and one of them comes in, out. I don't need your half a fizzy lager that you want to buy. Out. Anyway, brilliant. So Jackie carries on to say, my sister runs a Tide pub. She has my sympathy. And her profit, brackets her wages, last year was 12 grand. Her accountant has told her from April she'll have to find an extra £8,000 to give to the government. So that'll be her closing her pub. Oh, breaks my heart, Jackie. Closing the pub doors for the last time. She can then let the government to get the government to house and keep her. That doesn't make financial sense, though, does it, for the British taxpayer? Jackie, that is a brilliant contribution. Thank you. And give my love to your sister. Tell us where our pub is so we can, if there's anybody in the town or where you are, they can go and have a drink there and help her out. Unbelievable. Nothing good on the telly, said Stephen Hall, 6595. You're right. I'm now watching YouTube on my phone. The telly's on. But what was on there the other day? Call the Midwife in Hong Kong for some reason. I zoned out, I've got to admit. I mean, I don't like it anyway. Who wants to watch a program about babies crying and then dying? I don't get it. The only good point of that, of course, is that the beautiful, the talented Jenny Agutter is still in it. Oh, she just lost her husband. I saw that over Christmas as well. That was terribly, terribly sad. Our thoughts are with her. She's one of our greatest actresses. I'm sure you'd agree with me. And what young boy hasn't watched The Railway Children and indeed Outback and not thought they're brilliant movies? That's all. Let's move on. Good evening, John. This is Richard Pope, Coventry kid. Oh, did you see Coventry yesterday? We won again. We're promoted. There's no two ways about it. The rest of you may as well give up. Pack up and go home. And Man U, get ready for us. Starmer's speech was an absolute joke, John. Very patronising. He's not on our wavelength at all. That's absolutely true. And he's so out of touch with us. I wouldn't let it ruin my Christmas, though. The idiot is not worth it, though he can't get away with this agenda. You're right. We've got to stop it. For the first time in ages, I've actually watched the royal speech. I don't know why it was on. I was at my sister-in-law's. I went there for Christmas Day, and they put it on. I mean, I've got to admit, I don't normally watch it. I catch the highlights because the BBC, that's the only thing they've got good to put on. Certainly the only thing that's not a bloody repeat, isn't it? So they flog it to death. But, the rest of telly, unbelievable. And another thing I don't understand, why do all the political programmes stop? I thought this was even with GB News. GB News, they got all their jumpers on, the Christmas jumpers on, and just started arsing around. There was an opportunity there. I'm sure some politicians still want to talk. We don't all want to put our brains in the deep freeze. I mean, that's what I've found. That's why I'm so desperate to get on tonight. Alien Intelligence Agency. I saw you quoted on another program. I can't remember what it was about. Was that you? Let me know. Best thing we can hope for is a general election, he says. I think I agree with him. Leanne Tail, 7251. Welcome to Starmer's Islamic Republic of the once Great Britain. I know where that thought's coming from. Don't necessarily agree with it, but I know where you're coming from. I know exactly what you mean. Tech Junkie. That is the agenda. To stop people from... you're talking about people not going to the pubs. To stop people from communicating. Keep them from uniting and standing up against the government. I agree with you. I think that is... The pub is like the public hall. It's like the market square, or used to be. Do you remember when we used to go for a drink after work? And we'd stand there, we'd only have a couple, and we'd put the world to right. And there'd be all different sorts of... The pub I went to was called the Town Hall Tavern in Coventry. So there'd be people from the theatre, which is just over the back, people from the local newspaper, well, it was a proper newspaper, the Telegraph. Most of the kids now go to the youth club after work, I think, who work on that rag, which is a terrible, terrible shame. And then there'd be business people there, and there'd be tradesmen. There was a guy called John the Gas. He had a cleft palate. He worked for the gas. There was another bloke who used to work down the sewers, all mixing in the bar, right? All of them. Drinking great beer, Bass and Brew 11, proper cask condition, right? I told you about Ray, who ran the place at the time. That was communication. That was society, talking, mixing. And some blokes would put you in your place if you're talking shit. We don't have that now. And we had all ages. That doesn't happen. And I think that's a tragedy. But I think Starmer, pink face there, lobster face, he likes that. He absolutely loves that, because we can't then foment political trouble, can we? It's what they're doing. It's obvious. It's obvious. They want us trapped on our phones. And then there's all the hypocrisy of that. Oh, they're going to stop kids looking at violent porn. Starmer, your kids, even your kids, know more about the phone than you'll ever know. Same with my generation. I haven't got a clue. I know how to turn it on, turn it off. I can send a text. Not much else I can do on it. It's just nonsense. Oh, and that's the thing. Lobster face. He's stopping. He sees it as a priority, right? Forget about female genital mutilation by some of our Muslim friends. Yeah? Forget that for a minute. Or making women walk around like Daleks, right? No. The most pressing thing is to stop lobsters getting boiled alive. Now, I love lobster. But a good chef friend of mine says, just put the knife in the back in the exact place where he tells you to put it, kills them instantly, and that's fine. So I'm willing to say we don't need to boil lobsters. What I'm not willing to do is have it dictated to me by law by prats like Keir Starmer. And then I'll go on to the next thing. Now, some of you are going to fall out with me now. I lived in the countryside for 30 years. And I lived in a village in Farthingstone recently when I had money in my big house. It was a hunting village, right? And there is no better sight in the world, just hear me out before you decide to crucify me, than hearing in the distance the dogs and the horns. And then looking out, where my house was, you could look out for miles. There was no roads. It's beautiful, right? It was up on a ridge, and so you could miles and miles. And then suddenly out of the mist and out of the fog, you'd see a flash, and then you'd see the first hound. And then you'd see the men and women on the horses galloping over the fields. It's Britain. It is. It's a wonderful, wonderful sight. I was against the fox hunting ban, but it's gone through under Blair. It was always their intention. So now they do drag hunting. But not content with that, this bunch of sixth formers are in charge now. It's all about class envy. And it's all about, oh, they're snobs. They've all got money. So now they want to ban that as well. No fox is getting bloody killed. Now, maybe some are doing it on the side. If that's wrong, that's against the law. It's against the law. But they are attacking the hunt purely on class. But it's worse than that. I lived in this house, which was worth a bloody fortune because I was making ridiculous money. But the next door but two, next door but one was the lady who lived there, a wonderful woman called Anne. And she was the mistress of the hunt. She was an older lady and she was so into hunting and could describe it fantastically. And obviously she thought that the fox was vermin, etc., etc. But just past her house, there lived another old lady with two sons who I got to know. They were as working class as I was or am. And they worked a lot for the hunt. When one of the hounds died, or a cow died on one of the farms, they'd be in charge of taking it away to feed to the hounds or whatever. They looked after the hedgerows. Yes, so that they could jump over them and all the rest of it. They didn't ride a bloody horse. They were just working class people. And there was something like, I remember when this all happened, when they banned hunting, I think it's 500,000 people were either directly or indirectly employed by the hunt. And that's wiped out. And now they want to wipe it out completely, even though they're not chasing Basil Fox anymore. It's a trail. I think it's completely, and I know they've already banned it in Scotland, I think it's completely wrong. I think it's inverted snobbery. If you agree with me, fine. I'm not necessarily, I concede that fox hunting has been banned. But do you know what's going to be next? The participatory sport that working class blokes love, and women now, fishing. That's what they'll do next. They'll have you for fishing. It's cruel to the fish. That's where this is heading. Can't you see it? I just think it's just wrong, isn't it? A small minority can dictate to the rest of us. Oh, and whilst on the subject of fox hunting, they want to ban trail hunting, which is not even a fox, it's a piece of rag with a scent on it. But non-stun, halal, and kosher killing of animals is okay. I'm sorry. It's wrong. Am I right? Am I wrong? We can talk about it. I don't know where this conversation is going to go today. I think Starmer is compromised and was before he became the Labour leader. Let's wait and see. Good point. Victoria Linda, Starmer is useless. His priority is foreign men and foreign culture. Starmer has to go. Starmer doesn't own England. Well, he's got a massive majority. But I accept what you're saying. Five Raven. I was watching Midsummer Murders, the old ones. I kept thinking, why can't our country be the same? Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I was thinking about that as well. You know, people say diversity is our strength. Well, it's not actually. What would be our strength would be that we have a strong Indigenous culture, which allows other people to come and live within it, practice their religion, do their things, have their food, contribute their food to our food, make whatever, but not to make us multicultural. Our culture predominantly should be the culture of the country. So that is Shakespeare, that is plays, that is warm beer, that is cricket, that is tolerance, that is charity. But you see, what these arseholes want, they want it to be like a mishmash. So that it'd be like living in McDonald's land is the best way I can describe it. These cultural Marxists, they want it to be like when you come out your front door, you don't know if you're in Poland or France or Germany or Italy. You're in Euroland. You're in diverse land. The Italians don't believe in this bullshit. even though it's been forced on them. And now Giorgio Meloni is changing that. An Italian wants to be an Italian. A Spaniard wants to be a Spaniard. That doesn't mean we have to hate the Italians or even the French. But I want to be English and British and then kind of European. I said this during the Brexit campaign. What's so wrong with that? And if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. And I don't want to live in McDonald's world, where every time I go into McDonald's, it tastes exactly the same. Do you? I mean, that's why I love going to Italy, see our friends over there, Spain, eating different things. That's why I loved India. It was completely magically different, wild, colourful, the smells, everything about it. You don't have to become a racist, but I think our culture is something worth keeping. So although I don't necessarily like Midsummer Murders, I'm with you there, Five Raven. Good point. I bet this year the government tried to prevent the Tommy Robinson meet on the 16th of May. I don't even know about that. Well, they always do try, don't they? It's wrong. Hi, John. Are you going to the Unite the Kingdom event in London next May? No. It should be right up your street. No, I don't do demos. No, I won't be going. We shouldn't have to have a Unite the Kingdom. We shouldn't have to have it. So, no. That's my honest answer. The BBC is finished and mainstream TV in general, says Stephen Hall. Thank you. We are knackered, says Darren Cummings, until Labour get kicked out. Well, that's one way of looking at it, or we can make them go quicker. Stephen Hall says, I am subbed. Oh, you've subscribed. Thank you very much indeed, Stephen. Don't forget, if you'd like to subscribe to John Gaunt TV, just go to John Gaunt TV, find it on YouTube. And when the little pop-up comes, it says, do you want to subscribe? Say yes. It doesn't cost anything. And away we go. You can, of course, also donate here on my YouTube channel by clicking the little $sign. We've only had one today. Donate anything you want. I think that guy, Jim, donated a fiver. Thank you very much indeed, Jim. I know you probably spent up over Christmas, but if you can afford it, it all helps keep this going. Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I'm getting too many people asking me to say, I've done that one. Right. Do apologise. I'm still snotty. The only good thing to come out of the speech, that green nutter said, more people will vote for reform. Yeah, did you see him? What a Zach Palensky. He's more dangerous than what's the name at Palensky. Anyway, I watched Christmas editions of Steptoe and Son, Rising Damp, all on YouTube. It was brilliant, says Lena. I can understand that. I watch Talking Pictures TV sometimes. Yeah, somebody else told me about that. It's meant to be a really good channel with old stuff. Dave Allen was brilliant, says Stephen Hall. Correct. What's this one? My sister's pub is the Cock Inn in Wootton. I know Wootton. I know, and in fact, I know the Cock Inn. It used to be a Charlie Wells pub, didn't it? Yeah, I've been in there a few times. She says it's a proper drinking pub. Nothing wrong with a proper drinking pub. Lovely stuff. Dave Allen produced some great sketches too, says Stephen Hall. You're right. My favourite Dave Allen sketch is when the coffin, the two funeral cars are racing each other. And they go around a bend on a country lane and the coffin falls out the back of the hearse. You seen that one? And then it floats. It goes into a pond, floats, and they're all looking at Dave Allen's like the funeral. And then, of course, it sings. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. The government don't want us to meet up in pubs, as we all love to slag off Starmer and his crew and talk about trying to get rid of them. That's absolutely true. Alien Intelligence Agency says, yeah, that was me, smiley face. What was it about? Was it on the news? I saw it on the telly and I thought, he's one of my listeners. Stephen says, I can't believe it's about 20 years since you were on BBC Three Counties Radio. Unfortunately, I can, but there we are. I had a great time there. Great mates, Toby, Lee, Little Rat Boy, Amy the Orphan, Lorraine, and who else? John Pilgrim, of course, and Ernie Allman, both no longer with us. gone to that great big radio studio in the sky. I'll be there soon, boys. Anyway, regrettably, John, mass closures of business and soaring unemployment is the only way the masses are going to see how totally inept this sixth form government is. Quick to ban trail hunting, but no worries about halal slaughter. Well, that's the point, says somebody on YouTube. That's the point I was making earlier. Gunty, you telling us you're a shooter, poor Foxy. I don't even understand that, even if it was written in English. No, I didn't say I was a shooter. I did say that I used to love watching the hunt. I did. And but I accept it's trail hunting, but I can't now accept they want to ban that as well. What do they want to do next? Ban orange corduroy trousers because Nigel Farage wears them. It's just nonsense, isn't it? No foxes were hurt in the making of this hunt. Won't need pub once we're in Islamist state. Thank you. Did the little old lady go after the fox on her mobility scooter? Oh, why don't you fuck off, Tommy Mason? I don't need idiots like you with your what you think's witty, but it's just foul. Go away. One more comment and you're barred because I'm not having it. You jerk. I live next door to the Oakley Hunt Kennels. It's a real superb sight seeing the hounds and horses. Banning hunting doesn't save the life of any foxes because farmers get people to shoot them and there's no closed season for fox shooting, unlike fox hunting where they allow them to breed in the spring and summer. I don't really want to get into an argument about traditional fox hunting. It's gone. What about halal, says Victoria Linda. Cruel slaughter, no mention of banning that. Well, there wouldn't be, would there? Come on, grow up. I'm a bit disappointed that no one's donating. Here I am, working my socks off. It's Saturday. Come on, donate a few quid. Keep Gaunty alive and the adverts going. I admired you when you said you didn't want to ban on hunting. A fox may be described as vermin, but no animal deserves to be ripped to pieces for the sport of men and women, says Leslie Vernon. Well, you see, Leslie, I don't think you've ever lived in the country because the image that the anti-hunting brigade always used to put forward was that foxes got ripped to pieces. They didn't, actually. They didn't. Do you know, have you ever met a foxhound? Do you know how big they are, those dogs? About this big, right? What they do is they grab the neck of the fox and they shake it like that. Not like that, right? And it breaks the neck. The fox is dead, right? So be careful, that doesn't happen. I know there's things like blooding, there was things like putting the blood on the new huntsman and all of that's a bit snobby and barbaric and stupid. I wasn't against fox hunting. I was all for it. I thought it was a wonderful British tradition, but I accept it's gone. But the idea of banning a piece of rag being dragged across a field and then a load of horses and foxes running after it, that's just class prejudice. No rag is going to get ripped to pieces. It's just nonsense. Do you see where I'm coming from? The Labour Party hate the working class now, correct? Craig Marson, John, I don't know if you saw what happened in Manchester with Palestine Action over the hunger strikes in prison. It was on Christmas Day on YouTube. Yeah, it's just nonsense. It's a pick and mix hunger strike, that, isn't it? Maloney is being screwed by the EU. Well, they're certainly trying to. S. Raven or 5 Raven. I agree they don't like English traditions. They'll be stopping falconry as well. You're right. Bloodhound hunts, never has hunted an animal only a cross-country runner. They go out the same as the trail hunters. Leslie Vernon, I've just read yours. You're a bleeding heart liberal. What's your thoughts on Tommy Robinson, John? I haven't got enough time to go into that, but I'll do that one day if you want me to. The Greens are more left than Corbyn. They certainly are. And then poor old Leanne Teal says, I can't afford to donate. John, blame Rachel from accounts. Okay, fair enough. You don't have to donate. It's only if you can afford it. I wouldn't want you to go hungry by not doing it. Next time, I'll tell you the story about when I lived with a woman. We called her Judy the vegan. It's when I was a student. She was a vegan, right? When no one knew what vegans were. Well, they knew what they looked like. Ugly and sort of thin-faced and spotty. Did you know the vegan diet is terrible for you because you can't get B12? You have to have supplements for it. Anyway, that's what she looked like. So I'll have all the vegans on me now. But vegan, everyone knows about veganism now. But then, when I was at university, we didn't. But she was also a hunt saboteur. I'll tell you a story about the day that Lisa and her sister came to visit me before we were married, clearly, and they cooked me spaghetti bolognese. And there was nearly an international incident. Remind me tomorrow to tell you that story. And then I'll tell you what this Judy the vegan ended up doing once she left university and grew up. So she's kind of a prototype Zach Polensky. Christmas dinner, I can't say who, but I was told that one of my relatives is now thinking of standing to be a Green councillor. That Zach he's got cut through. He has got cut through. I'll tell you more. I've said too much already. So remind me on Sunday. I'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll try and do a show about 2:00. Try and join in if you can. Thank you for not contributing. I should just go and eat the settee or something. I will be back on Sunday at 2, so try and tune in for that. Thanks for tuning in today for this extra show. Hope you seriously, I hope you've had a good Christmas and not spent too much, because it's easy, isn't it, to get carried away. Me and Lisa, we only got each other one thing this year, because you just spend I haven't got any money anyway, but you spend stupid money, don't you? It's ridiculous. And we still had a good time, despite the fact that the telly was crap. I've just looked at the telly tonight. Lisa's gone to work. The only thing I want to watch tonight, and I've seen it twice, is Elvis. There's an Elvis movie on tonight. But I've got Netflix, so I could watch it then and whenever I want. But there's nothing on the telly I want to watch. Anyway, Jackie Ward, she's just given me 3 hearts. Thank you. And Pam Millett says, I was against fox hunting. Those hounds tear the fox to pieces, even though I worked for Bernard Weatherall at the time. Bernard Matthews, do you mean? Listen, Pam. Anyway, I'm not going there. I've done it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining in. Thanks for supporting me all this last year. We're doing well, as old Mr. Grace would say. You're all doing very well. Oh, did you see EastEnders? I thought the twist in that, in the third one, where the girl explained why she screamed, the little girl, what's her name? Can't remember her name, with the afro hair. I thought that was brilliant drama. And I'll tell you something else as well. The woman who plays, not Zoe, although I think she's very good, Kat, when it comes to it, when she plays a dramatic scene, she's like a Shakespearean actress, isn't she? That was just brilliant acting. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure it's on the iPlayer. Right, I'll see you soon. All the best. If you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.